So 13.5 is apply the law of sines. So 13.6 will be apply the law of cosines. Formulas are harder for cosines, but the math, well, not necessarily the math, but the concept is easier. So the first problems that we're going to look at say to state the case. So once you get to law of cosines, we'll have more cases, but right now we have basically angle, angle, side. You have angle, side, angle, or you have side, side, angle are going to be your options, and we're going to determine if we have 1, 2, or no triangles with that as well. So number 4, so you're not solving anything, we're just determining what situation we have on these ones. We ultimately will obviously be solving them, but not in these ones. So we have angle A is 40 degrees, angle C is 75 degrees, and then side C is 20. So as soon as I see 2 angle values, I automatically know that it cannot be side, side, angle. Because I would have to be given 2 sides. Okay? So I have angle, angle, side, or angle, side, angle. Well, to determine which one I have, I need to set up a picture of the triangle so that I can see what this would look like. So I'm going to draw one. And it doesn't matter where you put the letters, you're going to get the same answer either way. So then this is side A, this is side B, and this is side C. So values that I know, I usually just grab like a highlighter or something and highlight what I know. I have angle A, which is right here. I have angle C, which is right here, and I have side C, which is over here. So we follow this stuff around. We have angle, angle, side. And how many triangles do we have if it's angle, angle, side?
One.
Yep, just one. If it's angle, angle, side, or angle, side, angle, it can only be one. And when we get to law of cosines, you'll have 2 more. Yeah. 2 more options. Those all only produce 1 as well. The only one that can produce anything other than that is side, side, angle. Okay. So usually I'll just write my answer like that. Angle, angle, side, and then I'll do 1, and then I'll do the little triangle symbol.
That's it.
Yep.
Do the laws end at cosine, or do we have to go to like t?
They just stop there.
Thank God.
You can solve everything with those 2. 6. Angle A is 37 degrees. Side A is 8, and side B is 14.
That sucks.
So I have 2 sides, so this one hopefully is relatively obvious. But I still like to go ahead usually and draw a triangle and see, because that way I can like see where everything goes. Here, so I have angle A, I have side A, and I have side B. So just for us to see it, we have side, side, angle. So at this point, my next thing is I'm gonna look, and I'm gonna try to put this chart. Obviously it won't be in the video, but where did it go? Oh, right here. So when we have side, side, angle, the first thing that I'm gonna do is I'm gonna look at the given angle, and I'm gonna say, is that angle obtuse or acute? And I really hope that it's obtuse, because it makes my life easier. If it's acute, it can be more difficult. So is the angle that's given acute or obtuse?
Acute.
It's acute, so that means I'm looking over here, okay? So then the next thing that I'm going to look at is I'm going to say, is side A, or the side that goes with the angle that they gave me, so in this case it is A, is it greater than or equal to B? Or, yeah. So is 8 greater than or equal to 14?
No.
Nope, so that means then that I have to find H, okay, which is this little formula that you had right here. H equals B sine A. So H equals B sine A, and this is basically, it probably was in the notes, but I know some of you don't actually listen to the notes. This is the side that does not go with the angle that was given. Okay? So whatever angle goes here, it's the side that doesn't, it's not like its partner. Okay?
14 sine.
And you've got to make sure you're in degree mode or you'll get your answers wrong.
Wait.
So it'll be
Yep, I'm in
14
degree.
sine of 37.
I'm still rounding to the nearest
9.5.
I'll answer that in just a second. 1.95, you said? Is that what you said? Okay. So we're always going to go. Are you sure you're in degree mode?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got 8.4.
I swear I'm in degree. Degree.
Oh, it's 37. You did 8.
Oh.
I was like, that number is way lower
it's
than
gonna
those.
say capital.
So my rule is for H, go one decimal place past whatever the number is you're given. So if you're given a whole number, like we were in this case, then go to one decimal place. If it was like 8.3, then go to 2 decimal places. And I'll explain why in just a second. So what do we get with this?
8.43.
8.425.
So this is no decimal places, so I'll go to 1, so 8.4. So we understand that 1 past whatever the given numbers are. Okay. So now I have to go back to my chart and I'm looking at H compared to A. So is H bigger than A, equal to A, or less than A, which is also has to be less than B? H is greater than A. Because 8.4, this is why we go to one decimal place past, is greater than 8, but I wouldn't have seen that if I just rounded to 8. Okay? That's why. So that means that I have no triangle.
That was just so much work.
Did you find a rate of calculator?
She asked.
I mean, I asked at the beginning of class whose calculator it was, and nobody answered me.
I wasn't paying attention. That's fine.
No, it was not in here. You can thank Miss Greer for it. She's the one who gave it to me.
It's
Where
in
is
here
it?
now. Right there.
Where I put it earlier.
Jonah.
Get a load of this.
Is this anybody's calculator?
No response. I was like, okay.
Yeah, that's my fault.
All right, angle A is 149 degrees. I already knew whose it was. I just wanted to see how long it was going to take him to request it. I wouldn't have let you leave for the day without it because you couldn't do your homework without it. But anyways. All right, angle A is 149, side A is 7, and side B is 10.
You just sneeze at me, Clara?
Yes.
So we've got our triangle here.
149. It's obtuse.
You're so cool.
I know, right?
So I've got angle A, side B. So again, I've got side, angle. Which technically I drew these in the wrong spot. But it's fine.
What?
I just drew it backwards from the way that they're in the chart in the book, but it doesn't matter. They have to look like this with the given information or it's not going to work right. But for this, it's not going to matter because we don't really have to draw them for this.
We've moved B and C.
Yeah, I swapped B and C. I could fix it though so it doesn't look confusing. Oops. I'll fix it so we don't get confused. So just for clarification for why, in case you didn't understand what I did, when it's the side angle case and I'm determining what it is, the angle needs to be in the bottom left. Its side that goes with it is obviously opposite, and then the side going up here is the other side that's given. So if I had been given side C instead of side B, then side C would have gone here. Does that kind of make...
Sure.
It'll make more sense when we're actually drawing all the triangles, like legitimately to determine how many we
I
have.
heard
But
if I get side C, side C, side C, that's all I heard. That's all that registered. Side C.
okay, so
At least I know what we're talking about.
I've got side angle. I already heard this is obtuse. So that means I'm looking at the left side of my chart. I get really excited when it's obtuse because that means I just need to determine is A less than or equal to B or is A greater than B.
No triangle.
So A is less than or equal to B, so then we have no triangle. Now, part of showing your work on these ones is putting the reason. Okay? So that's obviously that's the reason there. The answer is this, but part of getting credit for having work is to show this here. You also will need to memorize this, so perhaps take this weekend to memorize this chart. It'll make your life a lot easier next week
Next week.
when we do the other part of this section.
Your answer's so harder.
10. Angle B
Are your knees?
is 70 degrees, side B is 85, and side C is 88. All right, so I'm going to set up my triangle again. Now I see that I have two sides, so given what I know at this point, I know that it has to be side-side angle. Okay. Now, to clarify what I was saying up here, the angle that you're given goes in the bottom left corner to just keep it consistent with the way that it's in your notes. Its pair side goes over here, so that's over on this side. The other side length that you are given goes here. So this one is different because I'm given both pieces of B instead of both pieces of A, like is in your notes. So you don't necessarily need to memorize this, but you need to understand the pattern of it. Okay, so the angle that has a side with it is what would be A in this, okay, on your notes. The other side is this side length right here. Okay, so we have side-side angle.
I'm so lost.
It'll make more sense when we start solving them out. These ones are, I don't even really need to draw the triangle for these ones. I can, unless it's not side-side angle, because then I have to see which order they go in. But, all right, so I heard someone say it was acute. So my next thing is now I'm looking at, notice, in your notes, it was A compared to B, right? In all the cases. But I don't have A in this situation. In my situation for this particular problem, it's B compared to C. It's whatever value you have the angle and the side for goes first.
B is less than.
Okay, so B is less than C. So that's not one of my options straight up, so I need to find H. Okay. So H is equal to, it's normally A sin, or B sine A, but B is the angle that I'm given, so it's C sine B in this case. Okay, so this is what I'm saying, you just got to memorize the pattern that it goes with. So we've got 88 sine of 70. Give me one decimal place past what was given. 82.7. So we would have 82.7 is less than 85 is less than 88, which means that I have how many triangles? 2 triangles. So this is going to be the first step of all of our problems, even when we get to solving them.
Great.
All right, these first ones are going to give you your triangles for you. So we're going to look at solving one of those. So 14. This is all given information here. So much like we did when we had our 6 trig functions, I'm going to set up my angles and then their side lengths. And I partly do this because it makes it easier to make sure I've gotten all the stuff, but it's also way easier for me to grade. When we have 2 triangles on a problem that you're solving for, you'll like label like triangle 1 and then like triangle 2 on there. So I'm going to put in information that I know. So I know that angle C is 81 degrees. Angle A is 33 degrees.
B is 66.
How did you find that?
180.
Yep.
Well,
I know what she means. 180 minus 81 minus 33, so that is 66 degrees. And then I was also given side C, so remember the sides go opposite of where they are. So side C was 26. So now I have to find the other ones. It doesn't matter which one we do first. I can do either one, but I have to have, basically I have to have a side and an angle of something in order for me to be able to do this, obviously. So, this situation would have been an angle side. Now, if they're drawing a triangle for you, there has to basically only be one triangle. If they just give you information, then you have to determine how many it is. Okay? Obviously, they're not gonna, like, give you one where it's not. So, I'm using the law of sines. So, I'm going to put whatever I'm solving for on top. So, I'm just going to go in order. So, we're going to have A over the sine of 33 is equal to C, 26, over the sine of 81. And then we just multiply by the sine of 33. So, A equals 26 times the sine of 33 over the sine of 81. And then you'll just have to type that in. Make sure you put the parentheses, like you close that parentheses if you're not going to work in like individual steps. Because otherwise you'll end up with like, it'll think you're dividing 33 by the sine of 81 instead of like the whole thing.
14.34.
And so anytime we're doing like the side lengths other than H, we'll round to the nearest whole number. So side A will be 14. And then side B, I'll use, I'm trying to do it over here so I don't have to drop it down. B over the sine of 66. Now, I have both pieces of A and I have both pieces of C, so I can use either one. I would strongly encourage you use the one where both pieces were given to you. Because if you did something wrong here, then you're going to also get this wrong. Okay? So 26 over the sine of 81. So then B is 26 times the sine of 66 over the sine of 81.
26. Sine. 66.
So then this would be my answer here. All right, 16.
Is there a problem? I studied for the quiz like I should. What? How does life without cats?
All right, so I'm going to set up the pieces of my triangle over here. So I know side C is 14, angle B is 56, and side B is 17. So which situation do I have this time?
Angle sides. Well, no, side angle.
As long as you're verbally saying it, it's fine. Just don't write it that way. Side angle. Mr. Cass taught this lesson when ACSI was here one time, and he like wrote on the board, and he was like, probably shouldn't write that on the board. So then he just like put a C in front of it for his name. He's like, I just put my name on the board. I was like, cool. All right, so I have side angle. Obviously, like I said, I don't really need to check anything on this one. If you wanted to check to see how many triangles, you could, but you're just going to find that it's one. Because they gave us the triangle. So now I need to solve for the other pieces. Well, I have to at least have one piece of information to be able to solve. So the only thing that I have one piece of information for is C. So I cannot possibly solve for any piece of A yet. Okay? I will be able to, but I can't yet. So I'm going to solve for angle C. So we take the law of sines and we use the flipped version. Okay, with fractions that are equal, we can flip all the fractions and then it still works the same way. So I'm going to have the sine of C.
Sine of C over 4.
Yep, over 14 equals the sine of 56 over 17. I'm going to multiply by 14. So I'm going to have the sine of C is equal to 14 sine of 56 over 17. Then this is where the stuff that we did yesterday is going to come into play. I've got to take the inverse sine of all of this to undo this. Okay? So we have C is equal to the inverse sine. You're going to need parentheses here. Of 14 sine of 56 over 17. You can either find this and then hit second answer and plug this in, or you can type this all in as one thing. If you hit the inverse sine and then you hit alpha and y equals on your calculator, it brings up n over d, which allows you to actually type in a fraction.
43.1.
Yes. So we'll just call it 43 degrees. So now what can I solve for?
Angle.
Well, what part of A? Angle A, yes. So angle A is 180 minus 56 minus 43. We've got 81 degrees.
Now we're finding the side.
So then now I go back to the other version of law of sines, and I'll have A over the sine of 81 is equal to, again, I would try to use information that I had, not what I just solved for. So I would use 17 over the sine of 56. And so then I would have A equals 17 sine of 81 over the sine of 56. So now I solved another triangle. Any questions about that?
20.
All right. Next week we'll get into the ones that have multiple solutions. So again, if we're not here on Monday, your problems up to this point are going to be 3 through 15 odd. They should be relatively quick. And then, like I said, next week we'll get into the ones where they don't tell us how many triangles it is because they don't draw a picture for us. We'll have to figure out how many it is and then solving it. And then we'll also do area that goes with this stuff with the area formula, which that's the really easy stuff. So I would also, like I said, work on memorizing this chart. Unit circle quiz, unless we're here on Monday, will be whatever day we come back.
Unless
Okay.
we pass it.
Unless you pass. And I will put them, I'll hopefully have them done by the end of the day. If I don't, at least you'll be able to see your grade and grade link, and I'll put a comment if you have to retake it or not. Now, if you didn't do well on it, then that grade's going to go in, but it'll be replaced if you do better on the next one. Okay? Your other quiz grades from whatever day that was should also be in probably the end of today, hopefully.